All right, so we're diving deep today into the world of AI, and specifically this this Chinese startup that's been making waves.
DeepSeek, right.
Yeah, DeepSeek. You sent over some fascinating articles about them, and I gotta say, they're really shaking things up.
Yeah, no, it's pretty remarkable what they've been able to accomplish in what, like a year?
Yeah, just about. They were founded in 2023, and already they're going head to head with some of the biggest names in tech.
Like like Microsoft, OpenAI, those guys.
Exactly, and doing it in a completely different way. They're all about open source AI,
Yeah.
which is, uh, well, it's kind of a radical concept when you think about
Oh
it.
yeah, totally. I mean, the traditional model for AI development's always been very proprietary, you know.
Right, very secretive. You keep your algorithms locked down tight. You build a wall around your technology.
Mhm.
But DeepSeek, they're doing the opposite. They're saying, "Hey, here's our AI. Use it. Do whatever you want with it."
It's like the Linux of the AI world.
Exactly, and it's causing a lot of people to scratch their heads,
Yep.
because it's working.
Oh, it's working big time. I
Yeah.
mean, have you seen what happened with their R1 model?
Oh yeah, the R1 model. That's the one that launched just a couple
Right.
weeks ago, right? January 20th.
Yep. And it immediately shot to the top of the charts, like the free app charts on Apple's App Store even.
Here in the U.S.
Yeah, here in the US. Which, I mean, think about that for a second. A Chinese AI startup outperforming ChatGPT, Meta's Llama 3.1, all these like established
Yes,
players.
it's kind of mind-blowing,
Yeah.
honestly. And one of the things that's
Yeah.
that's really fascinating to me is that they're not just matching the performance of these other AI models, they're doing it at a fraction of the cost.
Right, right. That's the thing that's really got people talking. Like, how is that even possible?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean,
It
do they
is,
just have
yeah.
some like secret team of super geniuses over there?
Well, I mean, I don't think it's magic or anything. It's more like
Uh,
they've really figured out how to optimize their development process, you know.
so they're just that much more efficient.
It seems so. And,
Yeah.
that's a pretty big deal. Because if they can keep doing that, if they can keep developing AI, that's just as good as what the big tech companies are putting out, but for a lot less money.
Well, then it's kind of a game changer, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think we're already starting to see that. Look at how Microsoft is reacting.
Oh yeah, Microsoft's been very interesting to watch in all of this because you'd think they'd be
Yeah.
threatened, right, by DeepSeek.
You'd think so, yeah, but instead they're almost embracing them.
Yeah, they've started testing and deploying the R1 model on their own platform,
Like Azure. Right.
Azure, and even GitHub.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even Satya Nadella, I mean Microsoft's CEO, has
Yeah.
been speaking very favorably about DeepSeek.
It's pretty wild. You almost never see that. A company like Microsoft praising a potential competitor.
It's almost like they're saying, "Hey, this open source thing, maybe it's not so bad after all."
Right. Like maybe this is the future and we're just gonna get on board.
It's it's definitely making people rethink the whole AI landscape.
Mhm.
And, it's not just the big tech companies that are being impacted. You've got investors, the stock market.
Oh yeah, the market's been freaking out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean there was that dip in Nvidia's stock price
Oh,
after
wow.
R1 launched.
Nvidia. Yeah, they make the chips that power a lot of this AI stuff. So I guess it makes sense that investors would get a little
Nervous.
nervous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean if DeepSeek can keep doing what they're doing, if they can keep developing top-tier AI
Yeah.
at a fraction of the cost,
It could really change things for a lot of
they
companies.
could it could make some of them obsolete even.
Potentially, but, on the other hand, it could also lead to a whole lot of new innovation.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if all of this advanced AI technology
Mm,
was suddenly
right.
available to everyone.
Right. Like researchers,
Yeah.
developers, startups, even just, everyday people.
What kind of things could they do with it? I mean, what kind of problems could they solve?
I mean, the sky's the limit, really. Like you could have small medical research teams using AI to develop new drugs and treatments.
Wow.
You could have educators creating personalized learning programs for every student.
It could really democratize
Yeah.
the power of AI.
Yeah, exactly.
But, it's not all sunshine and roses, is it? I mean, there's
Visions are.
there's some controversy swirling around DeepSeek, too.
Oh, right. The whole OpenAI thing.
Yeah, OpenAI is alleging that DeepSeek might have used some of their proprietary technology in developing R1.
And There's an investigation going on now, right?
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Yeah.
Because it really it raises some big questions about intellectual property
Yeah.
and open source development.
Yeah, like where's the line between inspiration
Right,
and infringement?
right.
It's a tricky one.
It is. But, regardless of how that all shakes out, I think it's safe to say that DeepSeek has really shaken up the AI world.
Yeah, definitely. They've
Yeah.
they've made a big splash.
So for our listeners out there who are maybe just tuning in to this whole DeepSeek saga, what would you say is the key takeaway here?
I think the key takeaway is that the future of AI is probably going to be a lot more open
Yeah.
and a lot more accessible than we ever imagined.
Yeah. And that innovation
Mhm.
can come from anywhere.
Exactly.
So for you, dear listener, the question is, how will you use this power? How will you shape
Mhm.
this future?
It's an exciting time to be alive, that's for sure.
It really is.